We've been joined on the line by former Ireland and Leinster centre Gordon D'Arcy around the launch of the new and improved Aviva Stadium Tour. The Aviva Stadium Tour provides fans with a unique behind-the-scenes experience of Ireland's primary international sports stadium, giving them a first-hand experience of what match day is like for our international football and rugby players. Gordon D'Arcy, welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Great to see you. You got a chance to do the tour earlier this week. What was it like?
Yeah, it's good. A little bit nostalgic having a walk around the stadium. Kind of a little bit more comfortable on the inside of it rather than sitting up in the stands, or maybe even more comfortable on the pitch. But it was nice. It was kind of some nice memories getting back into the change room, and then actually seeing one of the 09 Grand Slam winning medals and a ball signed by most of the 1948 team who won a Grand Slam as well. So it's nice kind of seeing that thing and knowing you were part of that history and that legacy.
It's brilliant. The inside of it really has developed. I have to say, I remember going in and doing a tour myself when the stadium first opened, and there was a little dentist's room in there. You never had to go in and get any dental treatment, did you, during a match?
Yeah, that wasn't just for dental treatments, to be fair. That was for when anything happened. So you break your arm, do anything, you're in there in the dentist chair.
Good stuff. Well, look, I'm sure I'm definitely going to pop down and see it myself. It looks like some great memorabilia and that kind of thing there. Of course, Gordon, we're going to look ahead to the Champions Cup semi-finals, the Heineken Champions Cup semi-finals this weekend. We'll come to Leinster in a moment. Of course, Saracens taking on Munster at home. That's live on Off the Ball this weekend. The big thing I've been seeing in the media this week, Gordon, is Farrell. How to stop him and his tackle technique are the two things that keep coming up. Maybe on the first one first, you know, he's in the form of his life at the moment. Not an easy man to stop.
Yeah, I think a lot of emphasis will come in on the back row from Munster and how much pressure they can get onto how they can get onto the halfbacks for Saracens. The Saracens are in that kind of enviable situation. They have the home game, and they can look to try and apply pressure to Munster, and there's a lot of similarities being talked about the English game. That if Saracens can only give Munster possession deep in their 22, it can be very, very hard to build pressure at that. So that would mean Saracens are kicking and playing on their terms. Peter O'Mahony, CJ Stander, guys like this have to try and disrupt that fluidity that Saracens tend to typically have. So they need to get Farrell kicking maybe a step early or standing a couple of yards deeper, which will feed into what Munster are trying to do, because they're a very dangerous back three and they are dangerous on their across. But they just need to get possession in attacking positions in the field. And then Owen Farrell can be rocked. So I'm sure the hard end of Peter O'Mahony's shoulder, if that fell in just a step too late, and just remind him that he's there, it wouldn't be too bad.
Is his tackle technique something? I've read that this is being addressed with the referee. Is it something you think it's right the Munster side of this game need to be highlighting?
Yeah, without debating the merits of his tackle technique, it is quite. It has been raised by referees and the third or the fourth official numerous times. So he is playing on the edge. He is definitely on the cusp of it. And some of the decisions have gone his way, and some of them haven't gone his way. There's no doubt he's a physical player. The pleasure of I wouldn't say the pleasure, but getting hit by him a couple of times, and he definitely packs a serious punch. So I'm not sure why he goes for this, that extra 10 or 15% into the tackles when he's already a phenomenal defender. I suppose that probably gives you an insight into the mind, into the psyche of the guy. But yeah, it's definitely something that you want to. This is a tried and tested route for captains. You've seen Paul O'Connell, Martin Johnson doing it. You've seen coaches talking about it, Declan Kidney, Clive Woodward, guys at that, where they just preempt something that there's a good chance of it happening. So it's almost putting the pressure onto the referee that if Owen goes for that big shot and it's anyway high, that they are trying to get the referee on the side of a yellow card or a red card before it's even happened.
Sadly, Joey Carberry not available for Munster. So can Tyler Blayendale do? What can he provide for Munster that might help them get over the line this weekend?
Yeah, I think the noises coming out of Munster have been really good this week, and it's Van Gran, huge positive pressure being put on Blayendale, saying this is why we kept him for days like this. We have the utmost confidence in him, and that's absolutely the way it should be. I think trying to flip this from a perceived negative into a positive is the opportunity here for Conor Murray to stamp his mark on the game is really is there. I suppose this has been crescendoing up since the Six Nations, which obviously hasn't gone well for a lot of players. So this is an opportunity for Conor to come back, and he's been very vocal about the people who have doubted him and saying, "Oh, well, I'm injured," the injuries and all the narratives and the conversations that have been happening outside of it. This is a huge opportunity for Conor to control this game, and he gets that opportunity with Van Gran. He seems to have a huge amount of faith in him and lets him, try and spark a bit of creativity. So I think the 10 conversation will be dependent on how well Conor fires at the weekend. And I kind of think just reading stuff, and this is we don't have any insight into what's happening in the camps, but two guys I think particularly that are going to fire, I think are due big games that are shaping up for them are Conor Murray and Johnny Sexton.
Johnny Sexton, your old teammate, hasn't played in 5 weeks, Gordon. He actually hasn't played for Leinster in 2019. Can he just turn it on this weekend?
Absolutely. He's in that really interesting place where he understands his body completely, but he understands rugby, and he's not one of those players now that needs 2 games to get his touch back in or to find his kicks or anything like that. He's one of those guys who can just turn it on every time he steps on the pitch. So I expect this time to be no different. And when you look at the guys that he's learned from down through the years, like Ronan O'Gara, the bigger the challenge, the bigger, the taller he stood up. And I think Johnny is one of those guys as well. The bigger the challenge, he likes to come back from and likes to leave his mark on the game. And he is World Player of the Year. So I think we really have to put a little bit of faith in this guy that once the pack in front of him get any sort of momentum into it, that he'll make the right decisions at the right time. And Leinster are in a lot of in the same position as in Saracens are about trying to apply that pressure game into that pressure game onto the game, and just take their opportunities when it comes. And no better guy than Johnny to do it.
Before I ask you, will we have a red and blue final? I just want to, Gibson Park, obviously, James Lowe, Scott Fardy, there has to be a decision made. There can be only 2 of those guys in the team. I'd imagine Scott Fardy's going to start. So is it between Gibson Park and Lowe, and who would you play?
This is why I'd just never be a coach. You can put a week's thought processes and really good analysis and everything into why you picked Lowe or Gibson Park, and then a break of a ball, a refereeing decision makes the other one look like the better decision. So I think the selections has looked like they go with Gibson Park because I suppose the importance of a number 9 in the context of an 80-minute game, as opposed to a winger who could be shut out of a game depending on the kicking strategy that Saracens go, would probably mean I think they would err on the side of going with Gibson Park on the bench.
Okay.
I wouldn't have an opinion on it because probably be wrong.
Okay, well listen, Gordon, before I let you go, it's the final we've wanted for so long, Munster versus Leinster. We've come so close so many times. Is it possible this year we could get it?
Yeah, of course it is possible. It's a huge game for Leinster against a resurgent Toulouse. But these are you win a Heineken Cup, you do not get an easy game once you come out of the group stages. So Leinster have to perform if they want to challenge, they want to be part of this legacy. They've got to put pressure on themselves and they've got to get there. Same with Munster. You're going to have to win on the road. They need to tap into the Munster tradition and the legacy that listen to Keith's soundbites earlier on, that the Keith Woods and the Paul O'Connells and the Anthony Foleys, that they knew how to win, and it's about winning by hook or by crook. And I think if Munster can just get under the skins of Saracens and play on that external scrutiny that's on their club, on Saracens at the moment, they might have a chance. And the great thing about semi-final rugby is pressure does funny things to teams, and there'll be no rhyme or reason for it. There'll just be a nice hindsight bias after the end at the end of the final whistle.
Leinster and Ireland legend Gordon Darcy, thanks a million for joining us, and thanks for promoting those Aviva Stadium tours, which I'm sure we'll all get down and have a look at. Take care, Gordon. Enjoy the games at the weekend.